Good evening and welcome. Misery and still more loss in the southeast almost a full week after Hurricane Helene swept through the region, causing the catastrophic flooding that ripped apart so many communities. At least 215 people are now reported dead in 6 states, and that number is almost certain to rise. Helene, now the deadliest hurricane to hit the mainland United States since Katrina almost 2 decades ago. Rescues still going on almost 7 days later. Sam Brock is following this still unfolding tragedy from Asheville, North Carolina. And Sam, so many people are still unaccounted for.
Yeah, Lester, that was the real revelation right now. Buncombe County saying that figure went from 4 yesterday to 200 tonight. But with homes and debris on the roads like the ones behind me and communication gaps, it's a figure that is constantly fluctuating.
Almost 7 days after Hurricane Helene battered large stretches of the South, the search for those unaccounted for continues as new stories of survival come to light.
The water rose so fast and got so strong that I just had to grab a post and hold on.
The devastating death totals only expected to grow. So far, at least 215 fatalities now confirmed across 6 different states. From Florida's Pinellas County, with around a dozen drownings, to Georgia's statewide suffering, recording more than 30 fatalities. And then there's North Carolina, where more than 100 have died. And search and rescue efforts have taken some miraculous turns. Former NASCAR driver Greg Biffle using a private helicopter to deliver supplies, spotting a stranded survivor only because he was hoisting a mirror, also in the mountains. Employees of Skyfire AI firing up their drone and showing us how they work with governments and even private companies to locate the missing.
Aid for local law enforcement to help search and rescue, to help find routes, to better get aid in and out.
We take a bird's eye view of the destruction in Burnsville, North Carolina, an hour outside of Asheville.
Is this the area they've been searching?
There has been a lot of search and rescue in this area. I know it's been very difficult for them to get up here, and this is one of the areas they're saying still needs a lot of supplies to get moved in.
On this day, choppers, likely medevacs, fly overhead as the Skyfire team shows us roads that have been buckled, broken, and chopped off. All the while, families wait.
We've had conversations with people who haven't seen their loved ones in a week, and it's completely heartbreaking.
Their efforts even helping companies like CVS, who determine road and bridge status so they could get medications to patients in need quickly, and search for several employees who were unaccounted for following the storm.
The damage on the ground, in this case an access bridge by a local quarry that's all but gone, indicative of the challenges that lie ahead for restoring infrastructure like water.
Swannanoa Fire Chief Anthony Penland addressing the decimated pipes.
I don't think there's a word to describe it. I don't know how long this is going to take.
For so many tonight, the road ahead is long, but their mere survival is something to celebrate.
The front door, the water pushed it in, and it pushed in the back door, and within 30 seconds it went from the ground to neck level.
Sam Brock, NBC News, Asheville, North Carolina.
Joining me now is Deanne Criswell, FEMA Administrator. Administrator Criswell, thank you for being with us. I know you were back in the air in a chopper today. Are you seeing places that you simply can't get to on the ground still?
Lester, we are. We're seeing communities that are still isolated and having a difficult time getting commodities, talking to local officials and hearing about how they're getting food and water up into some of these more isolated parts of their communities. But we're seeing everybody come together, local, state, federal, nonprofit, private sector, really coming together to make a difference.
As the lead federal agency on the ground there, what's the order of priority right now?
It is still life safety. There's a lot of search and rescue teams here on the ground. We want to make sure that we're getting them into the communities. The next one is the commodity delivery, keeping that flow of commodities moving into the communities, making sure we're reaching people that perhaps haven't been reached yet. And then the next big one is going to be the water restoration. Once we can get that water restored, we know a lot of people are going to be able to start their recovery process. You mentioned a search mission. Is there a recovery mission though right now? Are you accounting for those we have not heard from since the beginning of all this? That's the big focus for the state and all the local officials here, is making sure that they do account for everybody. And so they are still searching and trying to make sure we've reached everybody. We hope to find more and reunite those that haven't been accounted for with their loved ones. Let me quickly ask you about what people should expect from FEMA right now. You know there's frustration. What's your response? We've been moving commodities, people, resources into this area since before the storm hit. We are going to continue to bring those resources in, listening to the local officials. One of the reasons I'm here is so I can see firsthand what's needed. And people should know that we are going to be here till every person has everything they need.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.